Good evening and welcome to the County Channel and another series of or show on Lowcountry Law on Air. My name is P.J. Tanner. I'm the Sheriff of Beaufort County, and with me is Major Bob Bromage, our Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office. Bob, one of the things we talked about before we started taping is we wanted to have this show based on violent crime in Beaufort County. You know, we could throw stats on the table and talk about what crime was like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, last year, today, but violent crime changes in Beaufort County on a day-to-day basis. You know, we have a huge influx of people that work in Beaufort County, as well as our tourism. You know, it changes every day. You know, you look at the bed population, and we talk about this quite a bit when we're talking about budgets, but you look at the bed population of Beaufort County, and it's 182, 183, 185,000. You know, many years ago, it was a lot less. And then you look at the influx of commuters that come to this county every day, and that's in a range of about 20,000. And then you look at the tourism numbers. So our population, our policing population that we deal with on a day-to-day basis is right at 275,000. So this is, you know, it's a large county. It's a busy county. There are a lot of people that come in here at 7 o'clock in the morning that are here for, you know, 10 to 12 hours that are working in Beaufort County, and then they go home in the afternoon. And then our tourism numbers, of course, spike at different times, both north and south of the Broad River. So we know that when we see increases in the amount of citizens that are in the county on a day-to-day basis, and we see that influx of population, then along with that comes crime, misdemeanor crime on a regular basis, and of course violent crimes at times spike. Used to be seasonal, if you remember, and now it's kind of 11 months out of the year, February being a little quieter month than some of the other months. So, and I know you're going to be talking with Lance Corporal Abel a little bit later in the show about an active ongoing investigation now in northern Beaufort County, and I know you'll cover some things on that. You know, I'm gonna talk with Jennifer Snyder, who's been with the Sheriff's Office a little over 10 years, an investigator in northern Beaufort County. We're going to talk about some things that we're doing, that Jennifer's doing, and then we're going to talk a little bit about you know, what we're doing in the county with our partners at municipalities, with the PD in Bluffton, Beaufort, and Port Royal. So, you know, what do you think about the numbers today, unlike they were, say, 10 years ago?
We were looking 10 years ago. You know, the bed population was around 160,000. Now we're looking at comfortably 186,000. So 26,000 more people in Beaufort County, permanent residents. And there's going to be more crime. Our violent crime rate kind of goes in a wave, like you said. And you know, you hear about the national crime rate. We're well below that, but of course, we want to do everything we can to combat violent crime. You implemented forensic sciences in the form of a DNA analysis in Beaufort County. You now have the Beaufort County Violent Crime Task Force, which I know the next show you're going to be talking to the chiefs of police about. And of course, when Sergeant Jennifer Snyder gets up and talks about the FBI Violent Crime Task Force, these are all things that are progressive and move in a direction to better address violent crime.
You know, and you brought out the, you know, the DNA lab. Those are things, just like the technology changes that we've dealt with over the years, that we have actually had a step ahead of to a large degree. So with technology changes, with science, the way it is today versus the way it was when we started this job, the cutting edge science that we have in Beaufort County, I think we're doing everything that we possibly can here at the Sheriff's Office in the county to be as proactive, aggressive, not only in investigating crimes but solving crimes. And I think that goes a long way. I know all of our law enforcement in Beaufort County, the Sheriff's Office and the PDs and Highway Patrol that are assigned here, and all the other folks that work in Beaufort County, they do a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
But a key thing that we've got to continue to you know, to be proactive about and preach to some extent is community involvement, witnesses coming forward, helping us solve crime. Scientifically, we're doing a great job. The investigators are doing fantastic work, but we need more people coming forward with information.
And that is a great point, because it takes more than forensic science to get into a courtroom and get a conviction. It takes live witnesses, and we know the vast majority of these murders that we've had over the last 10 years or so, there's numerous witnesses at the scenes that are reluctant to come forward. And we need them to come forward to make cases and bring that person to justice, or persons to justice. So again, I think that, maybe juries expect forensic science in every case, but every case is not a forensic case, and it requires eyewitness testimony. So we do have the Crime Stoppers of the Lowcountry, where people can provide information anonymously that we can act on. We encourage that, and it'll never come back to them. If they don't want to be named, they don't have to be named.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Crime Stoppers line, because we would like to see it used more. And the benefit to Crime Stoppers by a citizen not comfortable in calling you or I or anyone else, Jennifer or Lance Corporal Abel or anyone like that, they would feel more comfortable. It's kind of like the app we started in the school system last year.
Right.
They would be more comfortable calling a number and leaving a tip. Now, if there's a reward associated with that tip, then of course the information has to be shared with Crime Stoppers.
And we could talk about the reward, because that's an interesting way we
Okay.
do that. A number is assigned to your tip, where there's no name associated with it, and you go to a local bank, which we've identified a local partner, and they pick up the check for the information. If it's reliable, if it leads to arrest or leads to recovery of stolen property, whatever it is, you're gonna get paid. And again, you're anonymous, and we're able to move forward in the investigation.
One of the things, though, that I guess we need to stress, not everyone will trust the government. And when the government tells you that, look, you're anonymous, you will remain anonymous. I mean, I think we need to stress that more, because that is actually true.
It is.
And so when those calls go into Crime Stoppers, the information about who made the call, let's say there's not a reward as a part of it. They just want to share the information. They're not interested in a reward. They just want, justice. We don't know who that person is. And that information is not shared with us at the local level.
We don't need to know.
We don't need to know.
The old expression, we're with the government, we're here to help you. Well, we actually are with the Crime Stoppers, where they stay anonymous, and they're not contacted by anybody. They're not bothered at all. Provide the information. We provide a tip number. You collect the money, and we move on down the road with the investigation. So it's a great program, and it is underused, like you said.
It is. So we would like to use it more, and we'd like for our citizens to use it, with any information opportunity. If there's an opportunity to share information with law enforcement about an active investigation or just something that's concerning to them, we get that information from Crime Stoppers, we react to it, we investigate it, and we report back to Crime Stoppers what our finding was. Great program.
Great program, agreed. We'll be right back with Sergeant Jennifer Snyder, and she'll be talking with Sheriff Tanner about the FBI's Violent Crime Task Force. Stay with us.
Company and my brother.
But I won't back down, no, I'll never surrender. I've seen the proof, I know the truth. This is what I was made to do. I was born for this. I was born for this. couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, 'cause you know that I was born for this. I was born for this. Baby, I was born for this. I was born for this. Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, 'cause you know I was born. I tell you, I was born for this. Ain't nothing gonna stop me now.
Welcome back, and we're here with Jennifer Snyder, Sergeant with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. And Jennifer, we know you've been with the Sheriff's Office a little over 10 years,
That's correct.
and you're assigned to Northern Investigations,
Yes.
which is from Broad River up to Sheldon, St. Helena, Burton, and all those areas north of the Broad. Not that you will never travel south of the Broad, but most of your time is spent in northern Beaufort County. And I know there's a lot going on in the investigative branch in northern Beaufort County, just like south of the Broad.
Yes, there is.
And I know you got a lot of cases on your plate. But one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight, we're not going to talk about anything in detail because I promised John that we wouldn't do that. But you are a new member of a new violent crime task force here in South Carolina.
Yes, I am.
With the violent crime task forces with the FBI,
Yes, sir.
and it's on a part-time basis.
For now it is, yes, sir.
And how long have you been doing that?
In October, I was sworn in with the U.S. Marshals, so roughly since about October.
Tell us a little bit about the direction, not in general about any cases you're working or anything like that, but kind of the direction that we're doing with the FBI.
Well, essentially, the focus is on any these major crimes that we're dealing with in the community that pose threats such as shootings, gang activity, drug activity, that can certainly paralyze a community such as ours and do. And some of those cases we can work on the task force that potentially have or have the potential, I should say, to be federally prosecuted. So that's really the end state with some of these crimes that we're looking into and investigating, because you get more time, obviously, on the federal level than you do sometimes on the state side.
So the benefits there are for Beaufort County citizens that of course we have state court, and that is next door to where we're at,
Right.
A couple of weeks a month. And this gives us another opportunity for another court system.
Oh, absolutely. Some of those crimes, drug crimes, some crimes that involve shootings, you get a lot more federal time, depending on the type of crime it is, than you would at the state level. So we kind of weigh that out when we're taking these cases on.
Well, I mean, it is a huge benefit for us in Beaufort County to have you on the FBI Violent Crime Task Force. We created with the municipalities here in Beaufort a Violent Crime Task Force in October of last year as well. So we are doing everything that we possibly can to have all our partners working together. Violent crime is a problem throughout the country. We've identified cases here in Beaufort County that are very concerning. We're always looking at crime trends. We're always looking at ways to solve crime. I think y'all do a fantastic job in investigating crime, and y'all solve a lot of crimes in northern Beaufort County, just like in Beaufort County in totality. But I kind of want people to know the depth of Jennifer Snyder. So you've got a background.
I do.
Share your background with our viewers.
Well, I'm not born and raised in Beaufort. The military brought me here. I spent 9 years in the Marine Corps, and I was stationed here in 1998. My background was a graphic illustrator, and I transitioned into
Is that you?
Yes, it is. I spent my last 3 years of the 9-year career on the drill field, training recruits, obviously, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I believe that certainly helped make me the person I am today. And I enjoyed it, and I love Beaufort. I've watched it grow since 1998, and of course, working with the Sheriff's Office, I've really seen a lot of changes in just the last 10 years. So,
you work in an office. We have a nickname for it. We won't talk about what that is, but I mean, the office is fairly small, and there's several of you in there. And I know this photograph is a recruitment poster.
Yes, it is.
And I know it's on your wall in your office.
Well, it's not in my office. It was in my old office, but I've since transitioned. So Sergeant Duhamel has the poster behind his desk.
Well, how does the troops look at you when they walk through the office and they see that poster, and it's obvious that you're in somebody's case, and I know it's a recruitment poster, but are they leery of you? Do they kind of stay away from you and let you have your room? And
They're
space?
always leery of me. They never know what's going to come out of my mouth. So.
Well, we expect big things, with the Violent Crime Task Force with the FBI.
Yes.
We know you're absolutely the person for that position. I know it's eventually going to move into a full-time role.
Right.
Start out small and
Sure.
hopefully end up big. The Violent Crime Task Force that we started here in Beaufort County in October of 2019, around the same time. We've got Sheriff's Office and Bluffton PD, Beaufort
Right.
PD, and Port Royal PD. And next month in March, we're going to have Chief Chapman, Chief Clancy, and Chief Beach here. We're going to talk about what we're doing in Beaufort County to try to advance what we do in public safety and law enforcement, and make sure that we work these cases thoroughly.
Absolutely, it makes a difference.
And,
it certainly
and
makes
actively.
a difference.
Bob and I were talking earlier about the importance of Crime Stoppers.
Yes.
And I know we publish, in every nixle that we send out, we publish, like if you're the case agent on this case, we publish your phone number, your desk phone.
Right.
And contact information. And I know at times you do get phone calls.
Oh, absolutely.
But do you agree with Bob that the Crime Stoppers is absolutely a great venue and great opportunity for people to call in, remain anonymous, and again, that's something that we need to continue to stress, because a lot of people don't believe that
Right.
you can.
Absolutely. I've worked numerous Crime Stopper tips, and it does make a difference. And a lot of people are afraid, so they don't want to obviously give their name or their personal information. So those work very well for us on multiple occasions. They've worked very well for us. So I would certainly urge anyone in the community, if you have information, to go through Crime Stoppers if you don't feel comfortable coming to our office or meeting us somewhere.
Well, Jennifer, I want to thank you for sharing everything with us today, and very proud of you. Glad you're a member of the Sheriff's Office. You do a fantastic job, and there's a lot more to do. So we appreciate it.
Yes, there is. Thank you, sir.
We'll be right back. Cars all over Beaufort County are being targeted by thieves. We want to remind you not to leave valuables in your car and to keep your doors locked. If you have any information about recent thefts, please contact the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers.
Disaster planning consists of 3 simple steps. Make a plan, build a kit, stay informed. Every family should have a plan for how they will communicate during an emergency and where they will meet if separated. Having basic emergency supplies on hand will keep you alive during a disaster. Monitor local radio stations for important information and updates. Visit pcso.net for more information.
Welcome back. I'm here with Lance Corporal Brian Abel of the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your education, military perhaps.
Okay. I was born in just north of Boston, Massachusetts.
Sox, go Sox.
Always. Grew up in southern Maine. Joined the Marine Corps in 1999. Retired from the air station here in Beaufort 2014. They offered an early retirement, so I took advantage of it.
Sure.
Was tired of being away from home and away from my family.
Okay, so as far as college goes, you just finished your master's degree?
Yes, after retiring, I attended TCL and got an associate's degree. Was originally going to go into nursing, but after working in that industry for about a year, I found that wasn't going to really work for me. Did a little bit of personal physical security down in Hilton Head and ran into a deputy that I had worked with in the Marine Corps off and on over my 15-year career, and he recommended I come over here and put in an application.
Well, I'd say that was a good call on your part. Now let's go back to the Marine Corps. Sergeant Jennifer Snyder, who you work with every day, was a drill instructor on Parris Island. Are you scared of her? You saw
Not
that,
so much anymore.
You saw that post.
When I first met her, she's a pretty intense person, but she is always willing to help anybody out that works with her with any information they might need.
I'm just kidding around. She's awesome. I saw that poster. She looks a little scary. So, okay, so let's talk about a case you're working. It's not technically a cold case. I think there's a lot of misconception out there. Due to our retention, and we hold on to people at the Sheriff's Office, especially investigators who stay here for a period of years. The Malik Spencer case from December of 2018, you were assigned that case, and it's still an active investigation. Tell us a little bit about that case and what's going on.
In December 2018, I was the on-call investigator. I was contacted by a road supervisor and asked to come out to Malik Spencer's house in the Labico area. His mother had reported him missing. I spoke with the family and many of his friends that night, and we started trying to find information on where he may have been. As a few days after I spoke with the family, we were able to recover his vehicle. It was located in the St. Helena area. We were able to process the vehicle. We learned a lot of information about what happened leading up to his disappearance, and a lot of evidence that we found in the vehicle has pushed us forward. We've received a lot of Crime Stoppers tips, which have taken us pretty much all over South Carolina. Received a lot of anonymous information about activities in Jasper County, Carleton County, Charleston area, Dorchester, Somerville.
So this is a multi-jurisdictional investigation at this point.
Yes, it is. I've been working with Jasper County quite frequently, and I speak with SLED agents very frequently. They're assisting us on some of the bigger ticket items, processing of data that would take weeks or months to do by hand.
Okay, now, what are the circumstances surrounding Malik's death that are safe to talk about and won't compromise the investigation? The circumstances of him being found, for example.
We know on the morning that he disappeared, his mother had seen him prior to going to work. Information that we've received through social media and his phone records, we know that he left his house that morning. We had a deputy doing an extra patrol who actually located his vehicle. We have another deputy from a different jurisdiction that says that he spoke to him on the same day that he disappeared in Jasper County. The middle of January, SLED responded to a call in Bamberg County, and they were looking for a missing person themselves from Orangeburg. And after DNA testing, it was discovered that it was Malik Spencer.
So that does complicate the investigation because then other agencies are involved, and where certain activities occurred leading up to his death, it requires a lot of coordination.
Yes, it does.
Right. So, progress. You're still moving forward on this case. It's still a very active investigation.
I work on this case almost every day, whether I'm reviewing my case file or I'm speaking to people, that re-interviewing people. I've traveled to Bamberg, Florence, Charleston, Somerville, Dorchester, Bamberg. I met with the chief up there at the sheriff's office. I've been to the location where Malik was found. I've been to where his car was located multiple times, just to kind of think about what's going on and where I can move forward.
So, by all accounts, Malik was a great guy. Tell us a little bit about Malik, Spencer.
With talking with his friends and family, Malik did really well in school. He was really family orientated. He worked at Love House Ministries. That summer in 2018, he branched out from working for the church and got a part-time job at a Wendy's. He paid his own way. He paid for his gas, he paid for the maintenance, and he would do anything what you would want your child to do when it comes to being a safe driver. Mom, Dad, I'm going to work. Mom, Dad, I just got to work. I'm getting ready to leave work. Do you need me to pick anything up at the store? He was in constant communication with his family.
So it sounds like a great guy. It sounds like, we really are looking for information from the public to move forward in this investigation, and his family certainly deserves justice. So, we appreciate your hard work on the case and your dedication to it, and hopefully we'll have some good news in the near future. On the next episode of Lowcountry Law on Air, Sheriff Tanner will be talking to Chief Chris Chapman from the Bluffton Police Department, Chief Matt Clancy from the Beaufort Police Department, and Chief Alan Beach from the Port Royal Police Department about the newly formed Beaufort County Violent Crimes Task Force. There's some success and some momentum lately in that task force, and look forward to hearing from the sheriff on that. We'll also be delving into one of Beaufort County's cold cases from 1995. So we look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for watching. Be safe.
If you have a question or comment, please contact Lowcountry Law on Air at lowcountrylaw@bcgov.net.